Good morning, guys. Friday, what is it? July 14th, 2023, reporting live from Nelson, BC. Maxime Bernier has done a post, and I'm going to read it to you guys because it is excellent information to look at and consider. Let's start. After 4 centuries, the era of Western hegemony is over. Most people don't realize how fast this is happening, as shown in the graph below. Our delusional elites and governments, especially arrogant neocons in Washington and other capitals, still think they can dictate terms to the rest of the world. The Afghanistan withdrawal debacle 2 years ago and the total failure of sanctions against Russia, which I predicted, should have been wake-up calls. Emerging countries are de-dollarizing and getting together to end their financial dependence on the West. They will soon set up an alternative currency backed by gold. Meanwhile, we continue to destroy our economies with more fiat money debasement and massive accumulation of debt. We are weakening our societies with destructive globalist and communist policies from the UN and the WEF. We are dissolving our glorious Western culture with mass immigration, self-loathing, and crazy woke ideologies. If it is to survive and thrive in the new world that is emerging, the West has to rediscover the core values that made it great and focus on its own problems. We won't win a war against Russia, China, and their allies. We need to coexist peacefully in a multipolar world. We must return to sustainable finances and sound money and stop trying to solve every problem with bureaucratic programs and taxpayers' money. Poor, unproductive, and heavily indebted countries have always been losers and dependent on others. The world is changing fast. Civilizations are not eternal. If we don't adapt quickly, history books will record how the decadent West committed suicide in the 21st century. So this was posted on July 14th, 7:43 a.m. So just over a little 26 hours ago, or 27 hours ago. And here is this graph. So it's the GDP as a share of global total and it's showing the G7, which is the blue line, and the BRICS, that is now surpassed at 31.5% compared to the GDP of the G7 at 30.7%. So it's almost got 1% more. The past has happened, guys. As the 2023 is there, the BRICS is rolling into the future, and the G7 GDP is dying. It is dying. Again, the G7's Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the UK, and of course the USA. The diabolical USA, and BRICS, which started with BRICS, the words started with BRIC, which is Brazil, Russia, India, and China. And over time, it has now evolved. The BRICS is expanding. Many people want in the BRICS. Even Macron sees the G7 countries failing in France, along with himself, and he wanted to attend the BRICS meeting. He was pretty much forced. I want to come. Can I join you guys? Can I hear about what's going on? Can I join your convention? So, and so the S is for Saudi Arabia, and there's more and more coming as we go. Let's take a pause and look it up.
Algeria, applied in 2022. Argentina, applied in 2022. Bahrain. Bangladesh, applied in 2023. Egypt, applied in 2023. Ethiopia, applied in 2023. Indonesia, and more.
Here you have on, of course, the woke Wikipedia. I can't believe I donated to these assholes like 2 years ago. They were like, hey, we're dying. We need funding to keep this independent news going alive. This must have been 3 years ago. And I was like, okay, I'll shoot them $1 or $2 because I appreciated using Wikipedia in the past. But now I realize that they have a woke agenda, and literally they'll write propaganda and not make it edible by the person that they're doing the story on. Like, I could have a section under Wikipedia and it says Marcel Ernie, and it's not going to say, he's a freedom fighter and a semi-retired pro superbike racer due to COVID-19, due to bullshit 19. No, it's going to say that I'm a dissident that caused problems for Constable Herbs, and went to court, and the Crown decided to stay the charges, not because there was no evidence, and not because they didn't want to give full disclosure, and not because the detailed security report probably shows evidence that the city of Kelowna is prejudiced against the protesters, and calling them names and saying that they're causing a disturbance when they're just exercising their rights in the Constitution to peacefully protest, to have right to assembly, right to association, and of course right to freedom of press, section 2B, 2C, 2D, and source section 7 for me, my right to a fair trial and process without intimidation, such as suing me and giving me court documents of in court. Anyways, so yeah, they're not going to tell the truth, and you can't write your own Wikipedia. They used to be edible, and so edible could use some edibles. And here's the original BRICS, right, with South Africa. Sorry, what did I say? Saudi Arabia. South Africa joined. That's silly me. And South Africa was the one to make the S. And what else we got here? So at the time of them writing whatever, we can't trust Wikipedia, but anyways, they're saying 26.7% of the world's land surface when this was originally the first BRICS was formed, 41.5% of the global population from just Brazil, Russia, India, China, among the world's 10 largest countries by population and GDP. The BRICS were originally identified for the purpose of highlighting investment opportunities and had not been a formal intergovernmental organization. Since 2009, they had increasingly formed into a more cohesive geopolitical bloc, with their governments meeting annually at formal summits and coordinating multilateral policies. China hosted the most recent 14th BRICS summit on July 24th last year, 2022. Bilateral relations among the BRICS are conducted mainly on the basis of non-interference, equality, and mutual benefit. The BRICS are considered the foremost geopolitical rival to the G7 bloc of dictators, of leading dictatorship, advanced economies, and failing economies now due to the woke policy, announced competing initiatives such as the new development bank, the contingent reserve arrangement, the BRICS payment system, the BRICS joint statistical publication, and the BRICS basket reserve currency. Since 2022, the group has sought to expand membership, with several developing countries expressing interest to joining. The BRICS have received both praise and criticism from numerous commentators. Why would they even put that in there at the end? Who cares? So there's the main countries again. With population in the millions. Brazil, 207 million. Russia, 150 million. India, 1.425 billion. China, 1.415 billion. Wow, China's just a little bigger according to the Wikipedia censorships. South Africa, 57 million. Wow, total 3.245 billion. And Bangladesh, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates and Uruguay are members of BRICS New Development Bank. And then here is the membership expansion proposals to finish off this discussion. Discussions about the expansion and entry of new member countries were little addressed until the early 2020s. After this date, leaders and top-ranking diplomats of the funding nations began discussion for the expansion of the group. On March 16, 2023, Russia announced that it supported Algeria's bid to join BRICS. On April 25th, 2023, it announced that 19 countries have expressed interest. And here we have again Algeria, Argentina, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. In addition, Afghanistan, of course, Angola, Belarus. So everybody that hates the US and hates the G7 countries, of course, Afghanistan was attacked by these G7 countries, namely the USA. And yeah, what reason did they have in there to go murder all the citizens? Yeah, exactly. Comoros, Cuba. Yeah, everybody enemy of the USA. DR Congo, Gabon, Guinea, Bissau, Honduras, Kazakhstan. Yeah, of course. Mexico. Yeah, see? Mexico doesn't like the US and it's their freaking neighbor. Nicaragua, Nigeria, Pakistan, Senegal, Sudan, Syria, Thailand. Good for you, Thailand. I'm going to go there this winter. Who wants to join me in Thailand, Malaysia? I'm going to buy a motorcycle, probably like in Thailand. And then I'm going to travel through Thailand and Malaysia, but most importantly, get into Vietnam and Cambodia, where I have not been. And Tunisia, Turkey, Uganda, Uruguay, Venezuela, Zimbabwe have expressed interest in joining the membership. Wow, good stuff, guys. Ernie Racing News. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm going to get back to my latte.